Hi, I'm Sylvia from Vintage Kitchen Vixen, where I share tips for simple living, creating memorable gatherings, and preparing wholesome and traditional recipes with a vintage twist. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make perfect scrambled eggs. Now, if you're new to the kitchen, you know that when I normally make a recipe video, I go into silent film mode. And if you are new here and this is your very first episode of the kitchen, you probably have no idea what I mean by that. But today I'm not doing that because that's saved for Fridays. Today isn't so much a recipe video as it is a technique video, which is kind of a different thing. I'm not going to be giving you a recipe for scrambled eggs because it's mind-bogglingly simple. Just do what I do and you're going to be okay. Today I'm going to be making a scramble with only 2 eggs, so I'm only using a little crepe pan. If you're going to be using more than 2 eggs, I suggest a pan with higher sides than a crepe pan. Otherwise, you're going to end up with egg all over the place. And normally, I am a huge proponent of cast iron cooking, but scrambled eggs are one of those things that I don't like making in my cast iron pan because it discolors the scrambled eggs a bit, and I'm also scared that they're going to stick. The key to perfect scrambled eggs is cooking them slow and low. Okay? I made eggs the wrong way for the longest time. Like, I can't even tell you how long I had been scrambling eggs the wrong way. And most people do scramble eggs the wrong way, and we have no idea until you finally learn what scrambled eggs are really supposed to taste like. If you go to a greasy spoon restaurant, you're not going to get scrambled eggs the way they are meant to be. You know you're eating perfect scrambled eggs when they are creamy, when they're velvety, and they just have this beautiful mouthfeel. Oh my gosh, they're so good. As opposed to something that's rubbery and just a big mass of egg and milk. So I'm going to get that started right now. I'm going to heat my pan on medium-low heat, and I'm going to put butter on my pan because butter is the way I roll. Butter makes everything taste better. So I'm going to do a tablespoon of butter. Now, funny story, about a week and a half ago, my husband bought the wrong kind of butter because it was on sale. It was all that was available, to be fair, and it was light butter. And then I went to melt it, and he had milk solids on the pan. So if you have light butter, do not use that. We learned a valuable lesson, and we're never going to buy light butter again.
Yes, dear.
Okay, so my butter is melting in the pan, and while my butter melts, I'm going to get the eggs ready, which will take no time at all. So I'm going to crack my eggs into this bowl here. And I'm going to save my eggshells because I use them in my garden during the spring and the summer. So I will rinse out these eggshells and then they're going to dry. And I have a collection of dried shells. And then when I have enough amassed together, I smash them together until they're tiny, tiny, tiny. And I sprinkle them over my garden. Now, this not only adds calcium, which does take a long time to leach into the soil. It takes months for it to leach into the soil. But I like it as a protective layer because it keeps the squirrels out of my garden. And a lot of people say that's not real, that doesn't happen. Squirrels will still go into my garden, but they stayed out of my garden last year. And I'm pretty sure it's because I always kept a fresh layer of these broken eggshells, and I swear, like, they jabbed at their tiny little paws and they didn't like that, so they stayed out of my garden and my tomatoes were safe. Anyhow, so I'm going to stir this butter around real quick, just to make sure there's an even layer spread out on the pan. You can also use olive oil if you want, but if you're going to make perfect scrambled eggs, I advise butter. And I'm going to put a little bit of milk in here. Don't ask me to give you a measurement. Maybe that's 1 tablespoon, maybe like a teaspoon to a tablespoon per egg, but please just give it a splash. Like, don't bother getting out a teaspoon and dirtying a spoon. If you're feeling extra decadent, or if it's your birthday, try putting cream instead of milk. So I'm going to just give that a little bit of a stir. Maybe I put in a little bit too much milk, but no big deal. And now I'm going to add my seasonings. So today I'm going to do a pinch of parsley, and I'm going to do a pinch of dill. Salt and pepper, I typically save those towards the end of the scrambling. At the beginning, I like doing my herbs. So if I have fresh herbs, this would be really good with fresh herbs, like chives and fresh parsley and fresh dill or tarragon or chervil or whatever you have growing about or that you have accessible. So I'll mix this up real quick, and those are good to go. Now the butter on my pan is just starting to bubble. You can start seeing the solids a little bit, so that is ready for my egg. Actually, I'm just going to show you quickly on a different camera view. See how that butter is starting to turn a little bit? That means it's ready for my eggs. Okay, so get my eggs and scrape that onto my pan. And now it's important. I have to stir these eggs around, and I'm going to take it off of my element. And you're going to be doing this a lot when you're scrambling perfect eggs, because if you heat them too high, they're going to cook too fast, and you're going to end up with rubbery scrambled eggs. And I mean, normal scrambled eggs, like, they're just going to taste like normal scrambled eggs, right? But once you have eggs, scrambled eggs that are cooked properly, you're going to be able to tell what I mean when I say rubbery eggs. Why are you so hot? Okay. I have the worst stove ever. I hate my stove, but I'm gonna make do with what I have, just like everything else. So, just scrambling this around. Actually, I think it was Chef Gordon Ramsay who was saying that when he has cooks come into the kitchen to apply, one of the things that he tests them with is making scrambled eggs. And if they make scrambled eggs the right way, he'll give them a real trial. Pretty sure that was him who was saying something like that. So now I'll put it back on the element. Let it heat up a little bit. And I do have a video that's all about egg theory and how eggs work and cooking and baking. So if you are interested in learning about eggs and how they'll work for you, I will include a link in the description below so you can take a look at that. I like knowing how my ingredients work for me because it makes my job easier when I'm cooking and when I'm baking. And when you understand how ingredients work for you, it opens up a whole new world of freedom. I'll put that back on. And we're just gonna keep doing this for a while. Now what I will do while I'm going through this process, and it usually takes even longer, and that's the thing about making perfect scrambled eggs, you can't rush it. You need to give them time. Otherwise, you're not going to end up with perfect scrambled eggs. Don't rush this at all. But what I'll do when I take the pan off and I stir it around like this, I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll slice up some sourdough bread or whatever bread I have up on the kitchen counter. And then I'll come back, I'll give it a stir, I'll put it back on the heat, and then I'll do it again. Once I take it off the element, stir it around a bit, and then I'll toast that bread. And then I'll butter it. And if everything works out perfectly right, the toast is ready, and my eggs are done. And then I can just scoop them onto the toast. But I will not be doing that today. I'm not making any toast for my eggs, although that would look really nice in the pictures, but I'm not doing that because it is currently 1:30 and I'm not hungry. So I'm not going to be eating these eggs. Also, I currently have a tuna melt that I made that's sitting on the kitchen counter that's also waiting to be eaten. Life of a food blogger, you know? By the way, that's what's coming out on Friday. Just a little sneak preview. I'm going to be showing you how to make a pesto tuna melt. These eggs are starting to take shape. Right now they have kind of like the consistency of grits or like oatmeal as it's just starting to come together, but not quite. Still has a little bit longer to go. That's what they're like right now. put this element super low, so it's taking a little bit longer because it was way too hot. This element is unpredictable as weather. When it comes time that these eggs are ready, what I'm going to do is put a handful of cheese in them to stop and slow down the cooking. You can also put in crème fraîche if you have it. You can put in a scoop of sour cream. I'm doing cheese because I like cheese. And the cheese also adds flavor. Also, it's my little boy's favorite way of having scrambled eggs. Actually, fun fact, he will not eat scrambled eggs unless they're made this way. He won't eat eggs unless they're made this way. I don't get it. I love eggs. I eat them almost every day. I really want to get chickens. It's having fresh eggs, going outside every morning. I know there's so much work, but that's okay. They're rewarding. It's just like gardening. Gardening's a lot of work too, and so is cooking food from scratch. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of dishes, but it's rewarding, and it's so much better for your health. And I don't know what's more rewarding than having good health, just not only for you, but your family as well. Okay, this is taking a really long time. It's because my element was too low. Normally it doesn't take this long. Actually, you know what? Full disclosure, this is my second time making this film. The first time it went beautifully. I was super happy with my video. And then I signed off, and I went to go turn off the camera just to realize the camera was already off. It was an unpleasant surprise. And you know what? The first video looks better too. Because it didn't take forever. Please hurry up and finish cooking. Okay, I turned up my heat a little bit more because apparently I didn't turn it up enough last time. I'm very curious. What's your favorite way to have eggs? Normally in the morning, I will have my eggs over easy. That's my favorite way to have eggs. But I do love scrambles when they're done right. Do let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video useful, please like it and share this video too if you want. It helps a great deal. Oh yeah, and if you are new here, I really hope you become a subscriber by hitting that subscribe button and the bell notification. Like I said, I do put out recipe videos every Friday, and I do this thing called silent full mode, so be sure to catch Friday's episode or watch a past episode and you can see what I'm talking about. I would love to have you along for my little kitchen journeys. And to all of you, it really helps every time you like my videos and leave a comment and share. Okay, finally my pan's hot enough. First it was too hot, and then it wasn't hot enough. Okay, now my scrambled eggs are getting somewhere. And actually, once they're getting close, you gotta be extra careful because it is so easy to overcook them and turn your scrambled eggs, your perfect scrambled eggs, into regular scrambled eggs. So I'm going to do a little close-up for you so you can see what I'm seeing, because I think it's pretty hard for you to see what I'm seeing. You can see how my eggs, they're almost creamy, and they are going to taste creamy. They're going to taste velvety. So these are just about ready. So what we're going to do, we're going to put them back on the heat one more time. And they're like at a delicate stage right now. When my eggs are at this stage, this is when I season my eggs. And I'm going to do that off of the element because I don't want to risk overcooking them. So I'm going to season them right now. I'm not going to add any salt because my cheese, at least I'm not going to add any salt until I add my cheese, because cheese has enough salt. So I'm going to add my cheese. Okay, and I'm going to stir that together. So these are basically cheese eggs. I know this probably doesn't look very appetizing, but when it comes to perfect scrambles, it's not the looks that matter. Also, when you put this on top of toast and you garnish it with some watercress, or maybe with some fresh sprouts or microgreens, oh, Oh, those are creamy. Wow. The only thing that would make these better is if I would have done cream instead of milk. I'm gonna turn that heat off. I don't eat it. But yeah, from here, you would just put it on toast, or you would plate it. In my case, I'm going to add it to my first scramble because, as you might recall, this is my second time doing this video because the first time I wasn't recording. But that's all there is to it. So there's my little container of eggs. I'm having them tomorrow morning for breakfast. I've never done that before, but it's okay. I'll heat them up in the oven and hopefully they'll still be okay, still hold up. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Vintage Kitchen Vixen. I really hope you learned something about making perfect scrambled eggs. If you've never scrambled eggs this way before, I hope you give it a try and let me know how it goes either in the comments below or on my blog. The link to my blog is below in the description, so it'll just bring you to this post and then you can let me know in the comments over there. And I'll also have a step-by-step if you want to read through it. But other than that, I do put out 2 new videos a week, so I will be seeing you real soon. Bye! Why are you taking so long?